Hello, everyone. Martin and I are here. And first off, I wanted to thank Jules of Thought, or allegedly innocent, for sending her crowd over here. That's really super nice of her. And say hi to Martin. I'm going to try to get a drink of water.
Hi, folks. What am I now? All right, here we are. Yeah, it should be a good night tonight. Something a little bit different. So we're just going to lots of questions about Barry's telematics and a lot of confusion. Even some of the people who I know I've been working with for the last 3 or so years are still confused about when Barry's truck was telematics were on and when they were off. So this should be interesting.
I grabbed my water.
Okay.
What did I do?
So do you want to go first there, Jules, or do you want me to?
Well, first off, I was going to tell people that the reason why hubby and I made Barry look the way he did is because he's a villain in that piece. And now that I'm going to pop it back up there for a second because maybe people don't know what I'm talking about. And anyway, we're talking about some of the weirdnesses. First off, Martin has a lot of facts of things that didn't add up, which are things that are in the public documents. And then I may pop in with a few things that Barry has said or actions of his that also were weird. But I think that what Martin's got is even more important because it's right there in black and white for everybody to see. And let's see. Oh, yeah. And the Bobcat is up there just because Barry is rarely been seen without his Bobcat. And while the arrest affidavit said the Bobcat didn't have anything to do with anything, I'm not sure what his love affair with his Bobcat has to do with any of this at the present time. And I'm going to let Martin talk now as I pop this thing back off of there.
Okie dokie. So as for the truck telematics, so on the Saturday, actually, I'll go back a bit before that. The days leading up, so we have like May 5th, May 6th, May 7th, and May 8th. There's very little truck telematics. For all the mileage and the different places that Barry visited that week, there's very little truck telematics for the whole week. Where the truck telematics are big, where there's plenty of them, is on the Saturday after Barry arrived home and right through that night into the next morning. And then it shuts down between 4 in the morning to 8:10. There's no telematics. And then we've got a load of telematics then up to 12:30. And then a little bit at 5:57, and then nothing until 8:55 in when he's at the bike site. So the Sunday is the big day, even though we only have from 8:10 in the morning really to 12:30 is the main bulk of the telematics. So on Saturday at 10:04, Barry has the Bobcat on the back of his trailer, and he has it running, and he's at tailwinds, and he.
Ooh, are you there, Martin? Your sound kind of went wonky for a second there. And I don't know if
10.
Oh, yeah. You ghosted
You
out
know?
for a minute there.
Oh, did I? Sorry. So where did I go missing? Can you tell me?
You said tailwinds at 10:04, I believe, and then you
Yeah.
ghosted away.
Okay. So when he's going to from tailwinds, um, he goes over the South Arkansas River, which is the river that runs at the back of his house. He actually passes over that in Poncha Springs, and his telematics come on, which is an odometer reading, and then his Bobcat also is running, and that gives a reading, and there's only 5 seconds between the two readings. So we can tell by the GPS that both of those vehicles are on the South Arkansas River, basically, and we can tell that they're synchronized, the two that they're telling at the same time. So we're happy about the clock on Barry's truck on Saturday morning at 4 minutes past 10. Okay?
Uh-huh.
You get that? Okay. So then we fast forward now to when Barry comes home from getting his blade changed at Cribs at the DSI. And Barry arrives home at 2:44 ish, give or take a few seconds. And then there's a little bit of telematics going on there. There's a bit of phone movement around the house, which is people think he's chasing Suzanne or he's chasing the chipmunks, but he's actually doing neither. He's just at the house, and his phone is just pinging around with static drift. But a little bit later on, at 5:33, Barry's truck says it's unplugged, that it's reboots. Basically, it's disconnected from the power. Okay? You there with me, Jules? Hello? Just want to check on here.
Whoa, there. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
Am
you
I here?
disappeared there. Yeah, I can hear you now, Jules.
Thank goodness. I all of a sudden my screen went blank to that oh snap thing, and I was like, oh no.
Okay. I'd say I didn't know whether I disappeared or you disappeared. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, we're there. So at 5:33, it shows that the truck says that it's basically the power is disconnected. So then next thing we have a lot of movement around the doors opening, doors closing, right through the night basically, and then it reverses back from the corner of the house back up into the driveway at 9:26 p.m. and then at 3:51 p.m. is the last telematic report that we have. I think it's a door closing or a door opening, one or the other. So the next then we have is at 8:10 in the morning. So you can imagine that Barry's truck there's telematics all this time when he's at the house. But when the truck leaves the house, we've nothing. When it leaves the driveway, there's no telematics. Now that's crazy.
Yeah.
They're trying to say that it's because of the mountains and the signal and blah blah blah. But that's crazy because earlier on that day we did have telematics. Just at 2:44, there was telematics from Highway 50, right by the bike site, and up to 225 and up onto Puma Path and then into the home. We had telematics, which showed that there's no problem receiving telematics. GPS.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The satellites are picking up the signal. So that morning, I believe Barry left, as he said, at 5 o'clock in the morning. I believe Barry left at that time by his truck, by his clock in his truck. And there's nothing at all, not one peek out of the truck until he just arrives into Broomfield.
That is very strange.
Just like less than a minute before he gets to the bus, the first stop, the telematics has come on. It is too coincidental. Now, they say that up in the mountains, there's no
Okay. This is weird, guys. I'll talk to you. Well, he's back again. Martin, you went away again.
Oh gosh, I don't know what's going on here.
This time you went away right after you told us about how some people are saying that there are no telematics in the mountains, but that is not really so.
No. See, when we got the report, it's there for everyone to see. If you go into the preliminary documents, and you would see where all the sheets are for the telematics.
Do you know the name of that file? Because I'm over here on the site.
Yeah, I'll tell you now. It's if you go into the defense, and then you go into defense prelim hearing X rest. So if you have the documents in front of you, it comes up as other.
Okay, other defense exhibits.
That's it. That's the one. Other defense exhibits.
Okay.
And we're on page. Let me see. We're on page 38, I believe.
Okay, let me scroll over to that before I pull it up onto the screen for everybody, so I don't get dizzy watching the pages fly by.
That's good. So it should be 38.
38.
It might be 39 actually. So it's Summoner Events is the name of it. So you can scroll down maybe to 39. I think it might be 39.
39. Okay, so this one's 38. Here we go to 39.
Does that say odometer events?
Odometer events, yes.
Okay, so you see the very top one there, which it says 2018, and the date is the 9th of the 10th, and the time is 12:37:35 in the morning. And so that would be around 6:37 in the morning. So Barry looks like he's heading towards Broomfield. If you see the latitude and the longitude on your right.
Okay.
So that's Bailey.
Okay.
That's just on Highway 285, just past Bailey. And the one before that one is in Buena Vista, which is that one there. It's on 2019, 25th of July.
Okay. What? I am being very confused. Okay. Tell me where to go, Martin.
One second now. I'm just going to go back onto StreamYards there. So, sorry. Go back up again to odometer readings.
Okay.
The very top one, the very
this
top
one?
page, where it says odometer readings across the top of it.
Okay, it says odometer events, or
odometer events. Keep going up higher.
Oh, above that.
Sorry, I'm actually looking on YouTube, so I should be looking at StreamYards. This is a different time. Yeah, odometer events. So the top two events below odometer events.
Oh yeah, I see. One says that it was 10/9/2018, and the other one says 7/25/2019.
Yes, And then there's two more, which are out in Penrose. That's out in your neck of the woods, out that way.
Uh-huh.
So you've got two more, and then the rest are normal. They're all around May 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, so go back to those two at the top again.
Okay.
So those two, the top one is Bailey. It's just past Bailey on the 285, and the one below that is Buena Vista, which is in Ace Hardware. It's just
Oh, okay.
yeah, they're in Buena Vista. So this tells us that there's nothing wrong with Barry's truck receiving GPS in this area.
Yeah.
Now, there's also another couple, but we don't need to find them. But you can trust me. There's a couple of Montezuma. There's another couple up there, and so there's not many. But believe me, law enforcement have all of these. Like we've only that's page. What's that page? It says in the bottom of that page now. It says 21. Is it 21 out of 600?
Yeah. 21 of 624.
24. Yes. Okay. So law enforcement have the 624 pages of the so they've got way back. So they can go look back on Barry's history to see where Barry is. And they could tell, they could see if Barry's odometer was working on these particular areas. But for Barry's truck to have nothing, no odometer readings whatsoever between when his truck is in his driveway at 4 a.m, or actually it's 3:51 by his odometer says 3:51. I believe it's 4 o'clock, but it says 3:51, and then when he gets into Broomfield at 8:10, there's nothing in between. You know,
Yeah.
like
That is very strange.
Well, it gets stranger, okay? Because Barry now drives from basically where the odometer comes on in Broomfield. He drives down to the hotel, which is just exactly 1 mile from the bus stop to the hotel. So he drives down, and he parks at the end of the gable end of the hotel. So he doesn't park in the front of the hotel. He parks on the end of the hotel. He jumps out of his truck, crosses the street, and he walks over to Starbucks, and he gets himself a coffee. And he walks back, and then he comes around to the front, drives the truck around to the canopy at the front, where the front desk is, at the entrance. And he goes up the door with his coffee in his hand. And the clock in the hotel at that time says he's there at 7:35 in the morning. But we know it's after 8. We know it's after 8. But it's actually 8. 1 second. I just got to get this correct. 1 second. So, Barry, 1 second. Give me 1 second here. So, yeah. So, according to the CCTV and the hotel, the hotel says 7:34:03 a.m.
Okay.
So that clock is on Mountain Standard Time. It hasn't been adjusted. So
They didn't
a lot
do
of
the
people,
forward.
yes, they never put the clock forward for daylight saving time, and this happens a lot. Like where I work, the security cameras are exactly the same. They're right for half the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the second time, so we're aware of it. We don't bother changing the clock. We just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the same happens at the Shell gas station. down in Poncha Springs. So their clock is exactly the same as the hotel, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you've got the auto sales, which is down near DSI, and that CCTV camera is spot on. That's telling the correct time. But DSI's camera is telling nearly the right time. It's out by 4 minutes. So I know all this from studying all the telematics and checking one after the other. You know what I mean? So you can check all these things, but just trust me for now that what I'm saying is correct. So what I believe is when Barry's truck, whatever he disconnected the telematics. Now he might have disconnected the battery, which then disconnected the telematics. But I believe he just disconnected the telematics of his truck. That he was doing something and he disconnected the telematics, and his truck was disconnected for 9 minutes, basically just 9 minutes. So Barry's truck is 9 minutes slow. So
Okay.
which would then, if you look at the time Barry is at the door with his coffee cup, it's 8:25. So that would bring him up to 8:34. And the clock at the hotel says 7:34. You get me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how the times all tie in and make a lot of sense once you figure out that Barry disconnected his truck for a bit and made the clock be off by that amount.
Yeah.
And then
And to be honest, we don't know why. Like, I believe he had a switch in his like a toggle, an on-off switch, like a kill switch or whatever you want to call them, but just like an ordinary flick on and off switch that you can clamp onto a wire, and he can then turn on and off his telematics whenever he wants to. Because you see, while he's in the truck, his odometer reading should be happening every minute. So you should be getting an odometer reading every minute while the truck is running, right?
yeah,
Whether you're going 100 miles an hour or you're sitting idle. Do you know what I mean? You would have an odometer reading every minute, on the minute, basically. If you look at the odometer readings, they're all roughly a minute apart. So basically, what I'm saying, if you look at the pictures of the CCTV from the hotel, and then if you look at the Barry's telematics, they don't match up. It's because of this 9 minutes. But when you change his truck and put it 9 minutes, then they add up. You with me?
Yes.
Because Barry's coming out with the lift, and then he's going across, and you can see his truck across into the lobby. But you're saying to yourself, but Barry's not there. Do you know what I mean? By his telematics. Yeah. But when you put on the 9 minutes, Barry is there. So that's another reason how we know that his truck was out for 9 minutes. So then we have this, basically in the whole time he's at the hotel and in Broomfield, we have nearly 100% of Barry's telematics. There's just a few little glitches where there's no telematics. And you can see them where, as I said to you, that every minute there should be telematic reading when he's driving. And sometimes that doesn't happen. And the other thing that doesn't happen, the odometer jumps from, say, 10 miles to 12 miles instead of, it's missing the 11th mile. Do you know what I mean?
Huh, yeah.
And it happens twice. I think it happens, the first one is 9 and the next one is 11. And then I think then we have a jump from, I think it's 14 to 15 or 13 to 14, one of them.
Whoops.
Am I gone?
No, I was trying to figure out how to make this bigger because I went and found the page that's got Barry standing there with his Starbucks in his hand.
Okay, 1 second. Let me look at see if I can see. Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And so I just wanted to give them something to look at. So
Well, if you look at that now, and then it shows you the clock.
yeah.
Yeah. So Barry's there, and this is what I'm on about. If you look at those pictures, all those pictures, where it's in the lobby here, it'll give you the time. But if you look at the telematics, then the telematics are not synced with that time. They're out by 9 minutes.
Yeah. Where is that that one? That was looking for the time. Oh,
Now, this it's probably just something that happened and Barry never thought about. Do you know what I mean? He didn't think maybe that it was going to be an issue, or probably didn't even notice that happened, because whatever time he spent doing it, whatever he was doing, 9 minutes isn't long, and he probably didn't check the time on the truck or whatever. Against what would he check it against? His phone or whatever? I don't know, but it wouldn't be a big issue. But it does cause us an issue because of phone calls. Because we've got a phone log which telling us phone calls are made at certain times.
Yes.
Now, some of them are through his infotainment system, and some of them are through his phone. And some of these phone calls don't add up either, right?
Yeah.
And you've seen we had this, myself and Kurt, we tried to explain this, that it's a bit like the clock. So some of the telematics, or the calls, I mean, are in daylight saving time, and some of them are in standard time. But this all in May, so they all should be in daylight saving time. But whatever way Iris put this through cast, or whatever way it was, whatever she'd done with it, she's messed it up. So the call logs don't match up with the extraction report. So the extraction report is basically all the phone calls, and then the phone logs are different. So in the extraction report, you have everything. You have everything that's happened, and every call, whatever. And then in the phone logs, what you have is Barry's calls minus the ones he deleted. So Barry deleted a lot of calls off his phone, plus he some of those calls are in, as I said, daylight save. They're minus 7 hours, and some of them are minus 6 hours, all on the same day, like May 10th, the day we're looking at here now.
Yeah.
Some of the calls are minus 6 hours, and some of them are minus 7 hours for UTC time. So you got. Sorry, I didn't explain that. So UTC time is basically it's the universal time clock, and it's set for Greenwich Mean Time, standard time.
Okay.
So, and then in the summer it stays at that time. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't change. It doesn't go. So basically, you would have for me, we're at UTC plus 1 hour, and then as it keeps going east over to America, it gets, it'd be 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever. You know what I mean? As it goes the further east, west it's going. Sorry, and so all the times and all the telematics for the Bobcats, for the truck, are all to be minus 6 hours plus 1 for daylight saving time.
Okay.
So it's UTC time, whatever the UTC time is, and then it's minus the time that's given here, So you take away 6 hours, and that is your time. So it's 7 hours. It's minus 7 plus 1. Sorry, minus 7 plus 1. So it's minus 6 hours. So that one we had earlier on, which was the odometer reading one.
Yeah.
The very top one with the odometer. You see, they've changed them. They wrote them in here in pen. See that?
Yes.
So because they were struggling to make head or tail of them. So you got number 1 there, and it's saying 10:04. Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the one I'm talking about, where the truck is 10:04, and so is the 10:04 in the morning, and so is the Bobcat. On that, that's the actual GPS there on the right hand side of that 10:04 written in pen, and that is the bridge on Poncha Springs Lane over the South Arkansas River.
Okay.
So, are you able to follow this, Jules, or is it a bit complicated?
Yeah, I'm following it, and I was writing it down. I was curious, so I did the math thing to see if they did it right on here.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, they did, but they don't put. You know, it's the lazy, and they didn't put it in the seconds.
Oh yeah.
But that annoys me a bit because, like, I know people say it's only a couple of seconds, but it really does matter when you're matching up phone calls to GPS and all that sort of stuff. Like the Berla give you the seconds. Why should they be different? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's laziness. In my book, it's a bit lazy. But I know I don't know if this was the defense or if this is the prosecution to put in these pen. I think it was the defense actually that marked these all up. So where was I going to go from here now? I lost track of my own self. Oh yeah, now I think Kurt is going to be popping on here. He said he is anyway. But the next bit I want to talk about is at 12 o'clock. Barry goes to the job site.
Uh-huh.
On his first trip, when he arrives at the job site, is where all the large, big skips are. You know, the big trash cans for all the building. So all the waste materials like the cardboard and
Yes.
timber, and there's lots of them there, and they're all kind of done in a certain way that timber goes in one, cardboard goes in another, plastics go in another. So they're kind of set up for recycling. And this is where Barry parks his truck for a split second. He's only there for a little bit. And then he drives around between Flatiron's apartments and the railroad tracks. He drives around there, and there's a camera there that's normally there on work days. You can actually see there's a picture there from that camera of Jeff Puckett, Morgan, and Cassidy while they were working on the wall.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, so that's where basically Barry drives around the front too, and for some reason he can't get up access from where he is there up by the wall. So what he does, he drives through between two apartment blocks, and then he drives on the road, and he drives out onto the motorway, out onto the toll road, and parks up on the median.
Yeah, that is so weird.
Have you? You haven't got a picture of that, have you? But you have it here. You have it here in the court documents. It shows it there.
Okay, which
further on down, I think it shows Barry's. There's pins. You can see the pins for the worksite. If you scroll down, I'll see it. I'll look at mine. Yeah, hold on. That might be it. That's it there.
Is this okay?
Yes, yeah. Can you zoom into that one?
Yes. And then I'll move it.
Going.
So
no, now see that once the 1207.
Yes.
Right. If you can move that over into the middle of the page and zoom in a bit more. I want you to zoom into like 400 or something like that.
Not
Keep
sure how to
zooming.
move the page. Oh, here,
Yeah, that's it.
the
That's it.
bar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, right across. Keep going right across. Okay.
Here we go. We'll go right.
Okay. So that keep going. So all right, folks. All right, but that's enough. I think we might come back one. Might come back one, Jules.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
back one.
Back one. Okay. So that 1207, you can see where the pin is. It's in the medium.
Yeah.
Right, and then you see the 12 one there. The wall is there, and it runs parallel basically to the toll road. Where
Yes.
okay, that's where
Yeah,
the
it
wall
does.
is, and the wall's in two halves. So you've got a north and a south side of it, I think, are of the wall, and so it's like two walls really. And so Barry's out in the medium, and he's parked up there for nearly 3 minutes, I think. And his doors opens and closes twice while he's up in that medium. And right beside that medium, on both sides of it, you have storm drains. And these are big enough now to definitely throw in a phone, but you could throw in like a bottle or something like that. Maybe some balm. God knows.
Yeah.
Piece of clothing. Whatever. If there was something he wanted to get rid of, and he's seen that there, maybe he threw something down there. Maybe it's another coincidence, Jules.
Oh yeah, there's Martin and I have been talking together, and there are way too many coincidences in this case, guys.
Way. Like hundreds. Like I came across just today about 3 more. You know, like somebody asked me a question on a different platform, and they said about let me get this right now. They were saying about Jeff Puckett's truck being stolen. And that was stolen, if I remember rightly, on the Friday. So I don't know where it was found. I think it was found somewhere near the municipal dump. I think, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
But they were saying, is it possible that Barry used this Jeff Puckett's truck to drive Suzanne to Moffat? Do you know what I mean? And I think, yeah, I said it's very coincidental that Jeff Puckett's truck gets stolen just before he goes to Broomfield.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that's coincidental there is the stuff, like the men's clothes that were found down by Fous's that were decided they had nothing to do with the case. Those clothes could have been from Jeff's truck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
And then there's a jacket that was like a coat that was found about 12 yards to 15 yards to the right of where the bike was found on that embankment. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes, a red and white, I think it was. And then there's a glove that's been found in the grave. And then we've got a guy who's mysteriously passes away or dies under suspicious kind of circumstances.
Yes, very.
And he was the same guy who obviously is not friendly, is fallen out with Barry because Barry tried to frame him and blame him for Suzanne's murder. Plus, he was in the hotel, Barry's room. He stayed that night in Barry's room where the bleach smell was, and actually chlorine smell, and and he found the mail and all this type of thing. But the thing is with Jeff came forward and he spoke to law enforcement and he spoke to Lauren and he spoke to the Daily Mail and whoever. But I think I think that there's another coincidence. Let me put it that way. There's a
Yeah.
lot of coincidence going on there with that Jeff Puckett business and his truck disappearing and being stolen and broken into or whatever like that and moved. But that was another one. That was today or yesterday. Somebody mentioned to me about that. Yeah, Jeff. That's a great photograph.
Yeah.
So now
I like that one.
this spot where these storm drains are, it's like you could down the middle. It's like a big channel underneath the ground, and Kurt was actually in there. He went down and filmed it. He had these little vehicle that he drove in with a camera on the front of it, and it filmed up and down all these pipes because there's pipes all the way in that where the wall is. And so he put if he was here now, he would tell you all about it. But he ended up getting covered from head to toe in tiny little spiders.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Yeah. Oh God, it's so funny.
Yeah.
So I was getting these live pictures of him covered in these spiders. He didn't know what was. But so that is interesting. You know, whether he threw something down there, whether he was just up on top of that medium, what he was doing, I don't know. But he opened and closed his door of his truck twice while he was up there. It is very strange, very odd. So he then spends about 11 minutes on the site. And what he does, he just takes the top cap off the wall and just throws it behind. Just picks one up, throws it, picks them up, throws them back. And they must have been very loose, or he might have just used a nail bar or a crowbar or something like that to pop them off. You can see some white marks in the front of the walls where it looks like somebody used the bar. You know what I mean? It scratched the surface of the top blocks. And so he spent about 11 minutes there, jumped into his truck, and then drove back to the hotel. And this is where he got rid of the bags, the big heavy bags, into the dumpsters at the hotel. And if you look at the timestamp for that, Jules, it's I think 1:41 on the hotel. If you look at the hotel,
yeah, I'm going over there.
It's the picture of Barry walking down with carrying these big heavy bags.
I'm looking for the bags one. I got him walking around outside,
and then walking around outside is one that's 12:42, I think it is. The one he's standing outside.
This one, let me share this tab.
Yes, it says 12:41. Yeah,
yeah. It says 11:41, but we already discussed and know that it's an hour off.
Exactly. So that's 12:41. So if you look at his telematics of his truck again, it shows him moving the truck for the last time, and it's at 12:28. Do you know?
Let me see. Oh, but they don't have these. Are these? No, are these ones changed at all? Is what I was going to ask you before, because here they're written, like it's saying it.
Yeah, keep going down further. 8 a.m. Keep going. Sorry, we must be onto something else there. Is that odometer?
Yeah, I'm on odometer.
No, there's no odometer reading. There's no odometer reading at that for that one. But gear shift, you probably find it there.
Okay, gear shifts. Those are 9:25 p.m. and 9:26 p.m. were those ones.
No, it's after that. It's after that. Jules, scroll down.
Oh yeah, this is okay.
That's May 9th. So go down to May 10th. Keep going further, way down, way down. You see the pen marks. If there is pen, there should be pen. All right, go up. You go up. So you have to go to a different one, up onto parking lights or something like that. You'll see more pen in a minute if you keep going up.
Okay. Well, these ones are the odometer. Are the other ones before?
Are they? There. Sorry, no. Keep going up again.
Yeah, these ones are the odometer. Here's door. All those door events.
Yeah, keep going. You'd see May 10th. You'd see here. Right. What's that say?
These ones are doors. 3:43 a.m. and 8:10 a.m.
All right, that's the same again. That's when he arrives. 8:10 a.m. is when he arrives in Broomfield.
Aha.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually think that's 8:19 myself. But so keep going. You might find another one. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't show it. But scroll down till you see. It will be all zeros. It'll be midnight. The 24-hour clock. I can't see that. You see. 1 second. I'll make it bigger.
Uh,
Okay, I have it now. I have it bigger. So 5:10, 6. There you are. 6. That one there. 6:28. That one there.
okay.
So take 6 hours from that, and that's 12:28.
Whoops. Let me
Because
slide over.
oh, go back up to it. That's it. So it's 8. It says 18:28:49. Driver's door was opened. And then
Okay.
we got 18, which is it's 6:28:55. And then we got 18:29:20. And then it jumps up to 23:57. So we got no odometer
Oh yeah.
readings between 18:20, 18:29:20, and 23. So if you take 6 hours off that, it brings you to 12:29:20. And the other one is 23, which is 5:57. So it's 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes to 6 in the evening is the second one.
Ah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the door was opened and then the door was closed. Then the door was opened. Do you see as well? When a door opens, the door is closed then.
Yeah.
You with me? So he's got doors opened, but the door does not close until 6 hours later.
Oh, that is weird.
There's lots of weird events like that. But that could be that Barry had switched off his odometer reading or his telematics after the
yeah.
12:29:20.
Yeah, like right here where it's saying it opened and then the next thing
Open
it's
again.
driver door opened and then driver door opened again, but driver
Yes.
door never closed in order to open again.
Yes. So this could be him switching on and off his telematics. And another time it happens as well, we've noticed, is when there's a phone disconnect, it normally brings on the telematics. So if he makes a phone call on his infotainment system, and then he disconnects it, or a call's coming in, and he disconnects the call, sometimes his telematics comes on. So yeah, like there's loads of strange stuff going on here, Jules, and I'm not going to go in and all that both because it's how to put it, it'd be like a rabbit hole. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's so many of them. The things that you're looking at here, just on that one particular page, with doors opening, closing, and all that sort of stuff. So basically, what I'm saying here is that at 18, it says here 18:29:20. That is 12:29:20 in the afternoon. So that's the last. That's Barry there walking around. If you add another 9 minutes onto that, you've got 12:29. Is that right? Sorry, you've got 12:40. 38.
Okay.
12:38. You've got 12:38. Do you understand me?
Yeah, I was
So
just
he closed the door at 12:38, and that's why you have him on that camera pic at that time. Do you understand me?
And I'm just noticing something that I know that I remember seeing AK talking about weirdnesses with the numbers and stuff, and I don't know if these are the ones that he was talking about or not, but I was just being puzzled because it appears that we've got semicolons on a couple of these when usually it's colons.
Yeah, that is another thing. Like, it does look like this data was altered. Now we know we have here, for instance, you'll see it. Well, let me look at my one first, and I'll tell you where to find it. So at 8:44, which will be 8:44, will be 6. Will be 1:44. On your thing there, on your we have 6 events, which are, this is where these strange events come in at let's find them here myself now. It's at 8:44. 8:44 with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's if you look at the it's door closed and parking lights off and on. We have a started saving and a finished saving. But the first event at 8:44, 46, right? So you'd be looking at 44, 46, and 8, it'd be 1. Sorry, it would be 2:44. It'd be 2:44. Yeah.
2:44, which is. Am I going the wrong? Yeah, I'm going the wrong direction.
10th. It will be May. It will be May 10th. Or will it be May 9th? May 11th. Actually, it might be May 11th.
Oh, May 11th. Okay.
Might say May 11th. See, we have when you take back the 6 doors. Yeah. See, we got a lot of and the odometer, the latitude and longitude is 106.0837. Is the minus 106.0837. So everything in Broomfield should be minus 105.
Oh, yeah.
But we've got a 106s, right?
Yeah, we do.
So that's Poncha Springs. So while we're in Broomfield, all of a sudden, we've got 6 readings, telematic readings, which are from Poncha Springs. And yeah, so it's like 3 minutes beforehand at 8:41. At 8:37. 8:37, we have a door closed, and then we got 7 minutes later, we've got all these strange events. Do you mean door closing? Yeah. And these are actually, they come from when the truck is down in the forensic building on May 11th, I believe, or May 12th, May 11th or May 12th, I'm not sure. These are taken from there and put in there. But they're not just put in. The funny thing is, Jules, if one of them had been put in, that would be odd.
Yeah.
But they're all put in. So we've got a door closed has been put in. We've got a started saving put in. We've got a finished saving put in. We've got parking lights off and parking lights on and parking lights off. So we've got 3 for parking events. We've got 2 for saving events. And we've got 1 for door close. So that's 3 different modules. But that's not how the telematics, the way you have them now, they're all done separately.
Yeah.
That's how they're spat out. Do you know what I mean? Separately like that. So how did this happen? This was definitely done by hand. Somebody put these in by hand. This didn't come out from a computer like this. It's very odd. The whole telematic thing is really odd. But anyway, we're going to leave here now, and we're going to go up to the next one, which was, remember the one I was just saying a few minutes ago, which was the at 5:57 in the evening.
Okay, and let's.
It was back to the 12. Back to the 12, which was 6. Was 6? You had 6. 29, 6, 1829. Yeah.
Okay, let me find.
And then the next one was 23, 57 was the next one after that.
Yes. I'm trying to find the page now because I remember I was just looking at it there. There it is. Okay, share that tab.
Okay, put in here. Okay, I have it now, so I'll see it. So where are we again? Yes, that's it. You have your cursor on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this 1829-20 is the last odometer reading we have. Then Barry goes into the hotel, and the next time he goes into his truck that we know of, or let me put it this way, that we have telematics for, is 23:57:30. Right?
Yes.
Another 6 hours, basically. We're 5.5 hours later. So Barry's obviously having a sleep at this stage because he's got rid of all his trash runs. He's changed his clothes like some amount of times. He's washed all his dirty boots and got rid of them, and he's got rid of his laptops or whatever it is. They're all gone. So now he's just concentrating on the story, the phone calls, and Martin Ritter and all those things going on, the 911, and all that sort of stuff. And now at that time he goes downstairs and he starts getting the tools and putting them into the truck.
Yep. And I was noticing that right there on the telematics where we were looking at it and seeing the time jump where he must have been sleeping or something, but then looking because he opened his door and then those hours later he closed his door.
Yes.
And the truck has moved a little bit too.
Yes, it has moved a little bit, and it's moved like half a parking space. It's not moved just a tiny bit, even though they only look like it's just barely moved. It's only 2 digits out, and 2 digits out on the last one as well here.
Yeah.
So the last two are 2 digits out, but that is a big amount. Do you know what I mean? It moves this one direction small bit, and it moves the other direction a good bit. So he's actually moved into halfway between 2 parking spaces.
Yeah.
So anyway, this stuff is going on. He's putting the tools in and all that, and he doesn't leave. I know he doesn't leave the hotel till about 6:20. Even though he's telling everyone I was left at 6, he didn't. He left around 6:20. And he arrives then if you look down a bit further there, you will see the next telematic is, oops, go back to the telematics again.
Oops. There you
go. Yeah. So the next one is then at 02:59:58 on that one, right? So take away your 6 hours from that, and you've got 8:59:58 in the evening. Okay. And Barry's opening the truck's door. But Barry arrives at the bike site. We see him on the body cam. We've all watched it.
Yeah.
He starts whinging, and you find the bike. And that is at 8:42. 8:42, I believe. So
he got out and asked where the bike was and everything before he opened his door, according to the telematics.
No, yeah. Well, see, what I'm saying is his telematics does not come on in his truck for 22 minutes after he arrives when he's seen arriving at the bike site. And those body cams are spot on with the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're with the GPS and all that sort of stuff. So they're not out by 10 minutes or 5 minutes or anything. They're all spot on, and they match up with other body cams. They all match up the same. They have to. So 22 minutes after Barry arrives at the bike site, his truck is sitting down at the 226. The 226 is a little road where the bike helmet was found up that road. And it has a couple of barriers across it, and had a couple of logs lying across it as well at that time.
Yes.
Right across the 226. But Barry kind of parked right in that corner. So as the road bends around over the bridge over the Arkansas of South Arkansas, as it's going around, Barry pulled into the right hand side, and then he moved his truck. You see here. Maybe not on this one. Let me see what's the telematics on this one. This one says 58, and it says 24, 3, 85, I think it is. And then it moves. You see it moves? The next telematics down, it's moved. So we just moved it a bit. You see it?
Yeah.
You see them? And for the rest of the night now, it stays at that same one. So it doesn't move the rest of the night until the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office get the tow truck in or the whatever to take the truck away. So, but we can see on the body camera that Barry pulls up. He comes in, drives down the 225 fairly slowly. Then he stops, and then he stops right where the bike was, which was a coincidence as well.
Another coincidence that he just happened to be right there.
Happened to stop where the bike was thrown down, even though the bike wasn't there. There was no visibility of any bike. He just happens to park the truck at where the bike was thrown down. Yeah, you couldn't make this stuff up.
And then he's like facing right where it got tossed, and he's like, "Where is it? Where's the bike?
You found the bike." Yeah, remember your wife? Yeah, but you found her bike. Yeah, your wife is missing. But you found the bike.
Yeah.
But, so when himself and George are being told, you see that on the body cam, when they're told to leave the bike alone, you know what I mean? Don't be touching the bike.
Yeah.
You can see Barry's truck parked on the right-hand side at that stage. So isn't it strange that we got no telematics all the way from Barry's driveway to Broomfield, okay? And then Broomfield, it's very active. It's Barry showing us exactly where he's going and all these different dump sites he's at. And he's showing, he went to the wall and he's changing his shirts and all these type of things. Loads of information for what's happening in Broomfield. But as soon as he gets into his truck at 6 o'clock in the evening, we've got nothing all the way home. But after he arrives home, just before he moves the truck for the last time, his telematics come on. As if by a flick of a switch, they just come on.
Yeah, funny thing how it's like a flick of a switch, huh?
Yeah, just like a flick of a switch. All of a sudden, his telematics, it's like a light bulb moment. Oh, my telematics aren't on that truck. And he turns them on. But how come when he was there that morning at 5 o'clock that morning at that bike site, we had no telematics?
Yeah, another coincidence, guys. What do you think? when do you coincidences end up being too much of a coincidence to where it's actually evidence instead of a coincidence?
It's crazy. You know, I was going to look at it. I want to look at the chat here to see what's going on here in the chat.
Yeah.
1 second.
And I was going to address something that I saw a lot earlier. Tech Commander asked how come AK did a donation of $30-something to Jeff's GoFundMe. And that was a GoFundMe for Jeff's family, actually, to get his remains sent back home from Chaffee County. And, and so that's why, because he's a good guy that wanted to help the family get Jeff back.
Yeah, well, and Jules, and I know he done an awful lot there.
Yeah.
An awful lot to get Jeff back. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
For the family. And nobody knows about it. Only
a few of us.
Only a few of us know about this. So, and probably nobody will. Do you know what I mean? Apart from Jeff's family and the likes of yourself, myself, and a few.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So what do you think, guys? I want to know what you think about this telematics. I'm looking.
Yeah, I'm scrolling up too to see if anybody's. Okay. Oh yeah. This doesn't have to do with the telematics, but I see that allegedly innocent mentioned about how Barry blamed God for what happened to Suzanne. That it was God that decided this for
Like he blamed everybody.
yeah.
Do you know, like I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said it would be easier to say who wasn't accused rather than who was
Yes.
who he did accuse. So be sure just to make a list of don't forget God.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, let's see.
And yeah, it's just pretty crazy. That's more of the weirdness, guys, is the way that Barry went and blamed everybody, just like Martin was saying. And this is before you know we even knew for sure that something bad had happened to Suzanne, because this is supposedly she had just gone on a bike ride and not returned, but we know there was no bike ride. But here's Barry going to the lion getter, and then saying that there's suspicious people that could have gotten her, and he said that you should go look at the RV park. But then I saw that when they were watching him, some of the information that they got from security cameras and stuff was Barry frequenting that same RV park that he said to look at. And he claimed not to have known Shosho, or not known anything of Shosho until long after Suzanne was gone. But one of the things that he said, somebody that the law enforcement should look at, is the housekeeper's daughter and boyfriend, and the housekeeper happened to be Shosho. So it's just like Barry, dude, you're spilling your guts all over the place. And I just wish that people had, but who knows, maybe they did go after him more than that, and maybe there are more answers out there that they just haven't shared with the public yet.
Well, see, the thing is, we know there's loads of information that most of the people don't know about, and then we know we're not stupid to know that law enforcement have piles more. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That was that never, because it never got to court. Do you know? But so I'm quite comfortable with them. Even if they went to court tomorrow, I'd be fairly comfortable about it. But at the same time, I just want to make sure. I'd feel much better if they just take the time and make sure they have all the I's dotted and T's crossed before, not we know who we're up against. You know what I mean? I think they didn't realize the type of scoundrels that we're up against, and but they do now.
I see Hope Rock's in the
Yes.
chat, so I put the link in there. I hope. Let me see. Yeah, I did. I put the link in. If you want to come on up.
I just text them to say that you sent him a link.
Oh, good. Anyway,
so yeah, he might actually speak about about the
spider tunnels.
The spider tunnels, yeah. Because he spent a whole day. Well, he spent a couple of days up there, but he spent a whole day at that. You know what I mean? At that particular. Yeah.
And but yeah, I gotta take that out now before now that you got the link to him, so I'm gonna take it out of the doohickey, because I have had a lot of trouble in the past from putting a link in the chat, and and people taking
Yeah,
the link and not being people that I wanted to have the link.
yeah,
But they pretended to be people that I wanted to have the link.
yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but getting back to this, the other thing I want to speak about of the telematics, when the truck that evening, that night, actually on the 11th, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. The truck was picked up from that same very spot, and it was brought down the road to the forensic building just there on the 285 on the left hand side opposite Lowe's, and it was there was this kind of the same thing as Barry's phone at 2:44 on May 9th, that you had this static drift. So Barry's truck was in one place, but his GPS was all over the place. You know, we were looking at this and we were saying, "What the hell is this random guy here? Look,
Yeah. With
handsome,
a
handsome guy."
bear
Yeah.
wearing this little prison stripes too. I hope to see the actual Barry wearing prison stripes not too long from now.
So have you got can you hear us, random guy?
Oh, he's got another one in here. Maybe this one's got a better connection. And,
Okay.
Hello.
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 How are you all doing?
We're doing good. Now we're on for about an hour, are we, Jules?
Yeah, we've been on for about an hour.
I'm
And
sorry, I
So,
just got back from the book list of the desert, doing some stuff with the drones and fighting wind.
yeah. No, we did speak out this up on the medium, and I just wanted to I wanted you to fill people in about
the spider
uh,
tunnels.
the spider tunnels and what you were doing there that day.
Yeah. Well, we went up there together, you and I. I mean, basically,
Yeah,
uh, we
at the end of the phone
right.
camera.
Yeah, and we traced routes. We drove to all the places, made timing, all this stuff. But the biggest thing is one of the bigger things that I found, and if you guys already touched on it, that the median thing was very very interesting to me, because that's just exactly what somebody who doesn't want something to be found would do.
Mm-hmm.
And especially knowing that he had the sewer plans, the drainage plans for the road, because he actually had to install 3 of them there on past the sidewalk. He knew that the center median drains did not exit to the same places as the side drains do. That's why he came down the turn. He turned on the turnpike, turned around, parked in the median, and parked, got out, and did what he did. Now, when we went up there, or when I was up there, I was up there for the day taking photos and just looking at everything. That wall is still just a horrible nightmare waiting to happen for a kid walking on top of it or something, because all the blocks are loose, just falling apart. But anyways, you get you go into the sewer tunnels, and I threw up a radio controlled car into one with the Wi-Fi camera on it, just to see if my theory was right, and it was. So then entered the tunnel. I did go, and that was a fun experience. Just seeing how smart of an idea it would be to throw something in that place, because it would never exit to where anybody would ever find it. But law enforcement has been there. I'm almost 100% positive law enforcement has been there, and that's why I'm okay with talking about it now.
Yay!
Yeah, I don't know what all was found or anything with that, but it was a fun experience for sure. I mean, I had mama spider with 100 little babies get get on me, and I didn't know what they were. I thought they were little ants, and so I'm crushing them, and there was blood all over my jacket. I'm like, what? And then I realized that I had all these little spiders on me, so I had to get the heck out of the tunnels. And you can't crawl as fast as I did that time. I don't know how the heck I got out.
You were
Because
you were
I
a
don't have
Snickers.
I don't have good luck with spiders.
No.
But it was awesome to actually go in and see with my own eyes where it let out, because there was no way that whatever it was is gone. It didn't get washed out. There was years of debris piled up at the exit, and water can get through, but anything solid will not pass through that. So hopefully law enforcement found something there. That was cool.
Yeah.
Like, it could be something that he just didn't want. If they were searching the dumpsters, he just didn't want it in one of the dumpsters. You know what I mean? It was probably something. It could have been a laptop. It could have been the BAM. It could have been phone. It could have been, I don't know. It just, when you see him going down to his shoulder deep into the trash can at McDonald's to get rid of something.
On video. He knew he was on video, though. He knew he was on video there. But
Well, that was actually, I'd love to know that, Kurt, because I looked at that bank and I couldn't see the camera on that bank from street view. So I wonder, was it inside? Was that camera inside the building? I couldn't see it on the outside.
No, if you go there to the McDonald's and you're over there at the trash cans, you could look, and the ATM machine, the drive-up one, is directly across, and it's looking right at the trash cans for Barry West.
Oh, it was the ATM. All right. I was wondering why it's so poor. I said, when you think the bank would be able to afford a decent camera?
So the point being, yeah, you're right. The bank should afford it. They take all of our money, but he knew he was on camera everywhere, except he knew where the camera wasn't. He did a pass. I believe it was a pass drive-by just to check out and verify what he had already seen. There's no cameras on that intersection whatsoever.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is a toll road. So if he kept going right, he would have had to pay for access on that road. I turned right. I didn't realize that the toll started right there, and there's no place for you to stop and pay, so I got a ticket, of course. But he just pulled right. He turned right out of the job site, turned right, and immediately hooked a hard left back onto the median and parked there. So that was one of the craziest things. And then, going into the hotel room, it was odd. Just being there, seeing the cameras in the hallway, the way that the coverage is, there's no way he could have got out with them not seeing it if they reviewed the video. There's cameras on the end of the hall. There's cameras by the elevator bank. There's cameras in the middle, and the downstairs cameras. So, but what I was saying about the cameras on the intersection is when he circled up by there that first time, Martin,
Yes.
I think he was looking to verify that the cameras were still not there.
Yes.
And that gave him enough courage to come back and do what he was thinking.
Yeah, well, we were just saying that about the phone calls and stuff like that, Bluetooth ones, and it does seem that Barry was in his truck after 12:30. Do you know what I mean? For a period of time. But because of the Bluetooth calls, you mean?
But that's not correct. I don't believe that. I think she took our lead with that until we actually went through the times and we said, well, yeah, the only way that he could be in the truck is if law enforcement didn't review the video.
Yes.
Because remember how upset we both were when we were thinking about this? And I got really upset because that's just like investigation 101.
Yes.
But I truly don't think that they missed him. I think she was just cueing from us and just taking, he was in his truck because of Bluetooth, because it showed on her sheet Bluetooth. So that was before we learned what we learned. So, dude, it was a weird coincidence that she kind of latched onto that.
And also there was the other thing was as Jules was saying about the doors opening, and they don't close them till 6 hours later or 5.5 hours later. And and also you had the other thing was the GPS both coordinates were out by 0.2. You know what I mean?
Yep. And did you talk
So,
about the 8.5 minutes? 8
yeah,
minutes,
well,
32
well,
seconds.
yeah, I'm kind of calling it 9 minutes just to make it easier. But yeah, it's 8. Yeah. So yeah, I talked about that from the start,
Good.
basically.
Okay.
That,
Good.
yeah,
Good
I
job.
went through from May 9th where we had the synchronized on the Puncher Springs lane with the two truck and
So
the.
does everybody feel like they got do you feel like, the people understand what you were trying to get out? Because that data,
I'm not
talking
too
about
sure.
data is tough.
It is complicated. It is hard for people to swallow. It is complicated, but I didn't show any data as much
Yeah.
because I just, if people want to check up the data, they can.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
What do you think, Jules? Did it come across okay?
Yeah, I think so. And I was able to understand it. And even though I'm having, like a bad thinking day, and I was able to go along with it on both the times and how to do from UTC to Colorado time at that time of year and everything. And Martin did a really good job of walking us through that, and being able to look at the times, what the UTC time was showing, what the actual time was, and what the locations were, and seeing the location numbers, the numbers on there changed when the vehicle moved and stuff like that. And I think that chat probably understands it too, because like I said, here I am on a bad a brain cloud day basically, and I was able to understand it.
I have those days every day, so you're a great company if you're having one. I feel jealous.
The other thing I'd say is that if people are, you can't copy and paste off those documents. So this is why it took us so long to
Oh yeah. Well, you
get all
could,
this.
but you could, but the OCR,
blurry.
yeah, the OCR just couldn't pick it up, so we had to hand key everything in, and it was crazy.
And we had to zoom in to sometimes 300.
Yeah, 6s, 9s, 8s, 3s.
Yes, and even after that, Kurt, we found some later on that those 6s and 9s, we had to go back and double check them because they were done in a kind of a bold print. It makes it harder. If they were just done on the ordinary print, it would have been a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And I see that Edie Purdy is asking, is it the original data? And it is.
Yes.
And so I just put up the website of the Colorado Judicial Branch, District 11, and you go into that, and it has the cases of interest, and it's Barry Morphew case, and then you can click on it. All the documents are there.
It would be the
two ones. The three documents here, which are very good, is people's exhibits. Then you've got other defense exhibits, and then you've got a defense exhibit D, which is all the Bobcat telematics.
Yeah.
So those three are probably the most widely used ones that myself and Kurt would use.
No, Martin, did you bring up anything about the alien abduction of the truck down to CSI and then back into the Broomfield area?
I did. I spoke about that, and I said it was in the three modules, and that it's just that it's not because of the way the data is given. It couldn't happen that way.
Right, it's impossible. It had to be manipulated.
Yeah, it had to be done. Like basically, the way we done the data, you'd have to do it that way for that to happen. So, but they have it in reverse. They have it on those sheets. It's on those sheets, and
it's so easy when you see what they did. You just come unglued. I'm going to mute myself for a second.
Do you know what I'd love to see is for investigators, cast or whatever, to go through this all again from the original, from whatever the original was, and just go back over it again, because I think there's a bit of corruption gone on here, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And we know that in the prelims that the prosecution were using the defense's material.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they're not now. That's for sure.
Not now, I know, but I'm just saying at the prelims they were. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Which
yeah.
was frustrating as hell.
And how somebody would change this document in such a way, in an obvious way, and not have a complaint be able to be lodged against her is just beyond me. It's beyond anything I would ever think of in the legal system, but it's crazy how man, we'll get off of that. But anyways, well, you guys seem to have done a great workup. I know that you invited me on. I don't have anything to say other than thank you for keeping going, and you guys are awesome. And the community here, I don't know how many people, I can't even see chat right now, but I just wanted to say thank you for anybody who still is around and cares, and those of you that are thinking of me, thank you again.
Yeah, we get it all the time, Kurt. We get it on all platforms. I mean, so
yeah, everyone's always asking about you and having you in their thoughts, and all of us are also hoping that you get your channel back, because that was a really low blow. What happened with the channel?
We'll see. We tend to do things a little bit differently than some people might like or wish, and that's just part of it. So yeah, hopefully the channel comes back. If not, not a problem. You guys are handling it, and it's in good hands with law enforcement now, because I know that they understand everything that the defense was trying to do. It was crazy.
Yeah,
which makes me feel so much better. You know what I mean? You know. So
and the defense is still trying to do great stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They go ask all the veterinarians who they prescribed BAM to.
Yeah.
Who hunters?
Kurt, I have a question for you. Do you know Jeff's Durango? It was stolen. Where was that stolen from, and where was it found? Do you remember?
I don't. I can't say specifically on a couple things.
No, but I mean, like,
in general,
you know, or would you have to go look? Would you know it off the top of your head now, or would you have to go look it up or whatever?
I know the general location, and I can tell you offline.
Okay,
that's not something I'll advertise.
No, that's good enough for me. No, that's good enough for me. No, it's just somebody was asking about it yesterday, I think, and it just kind of sparked something up in my head.
Yeah.
Because we know that they're going to be looking for every angle they can. You know what I mean? They've already said that farmers, hunters, basically every hunter and farmer in Colorado carry BAM and dart guns with them in their pockets at all time.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
Just in case they happen to come across somebody who's been left alone at home on Mother's Day.
I wasn't ever worried, even during hunting season. The 8.5 months I spent in the mountains down there, for over 2 years or whatever it was, 2.5. I never worried about somebody shooting me with a tranquilizer, and harvesting my horns or whatever.
Human horn.
Yeah, because I think he likes all types of horns. So, but what I was saying, Jules, thank you for your family support and keeping everything going. I know you're going through a bunch of stuff with online and stuff, and just put that stuff aside, and you're doing you, and it's awesome. And your family supporting you. Hopefully your mister's in there, and your kids and stuff. You guys are awesome people. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
And your family too. And we all support you as well. And I know you're going through a lot too.
Yeah.
But a scratch.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of weird things keep coming up. I hope to be able to address it publicly at some point. So we'll see.
But just so everybody knows, part of the reason why he doesn't go into stuff like that right now is that he doesn't want to compromise the current case for Suzanne. And, some stuff might lead to other information coming out, information that needs to not be out because, the prosecution needs to have that not be tainted.
Yeah.
And so, when he's silent, he has reasons for being silent, and it's all good. And we've all got his back.
I'll be speaking to you later on, buddy. I want to find out what happened today up in the Booker Cliffs. So I'll give you a call after the show.
And that's one of the things I really miss about his channel. But I mean, besides just listening to you guys talk and everything, is seeing the drone footage is just so cool. And when he's explaining the applications of what the drones can do, and how you can get so much of a head start and being able to find people in a situation, like for instance, if somebody were to get hurt while walking near the water, or out there in extreme weather situations, and the drone and thermal drones can see a person, and people can be saved through this.
Like, he found that one guy. Do you remember that? I can't think of his name now. But he called me and he said, "Look, I want you to go searching on these roads." And so I'm searching on Google. I'm going on the Street View, and I'm looking at different places where this guy I had where he left. He wasn't well. This chap. He was not himself.
Dementia. Can you hear me now? It was dementia. Yeah. Okay.
Dementia. Yeah. He had dementia. That's it. Yeah. And then so I'm kind of tracing him from his house, and then I think he'd been gone 2 hours or something, Kurt, had he? And when you contacted me,
it was going to be Wolf.
Yeah. So we're looking at all old buildings and whatever.
Yes.
And what time did you find him, Kurt? Then after how many hours after you?
It was right. Oh, it was about 45 minutes, I think. It wasn't. Amazing. It wasn't crazy long. But yeah, he was out in the field. It was 5 degrees. He wasn't made it through the night, and he sure as heck wasn't going to make it back home. But yeah, it saved a life, and it helped on a couple other things. It saved some pets. We found some pets for people that had missing dogs, and it's been cool.
Oh man, that's awesome too, because we love our fur friends and fur family.
Yeah. If it's there to be helped, we can do it. But I took the underwater drone out. I took the thermal and the other drones today with Robert, Cruz, and with Rob. What the heck? Sorry, I just got shown something that just blew my mind. But anyways, with Rudy and Robert and Cruz, and I was mapping the area where in western Colorado there was a story that broke not too long ago about finding women's shoes around a pond in the middle of nowhere. So that's what I was doing today, going out there documenting that place before it gets all torn up. So I saw a couple videos that were forwarded to me because I don't watch any social medias hardly at all. That showed that there was like one video that had like 1 million hits on it already. Some FBI guy says, "Oh, this is the mark of a serial killer."
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll shut up.
What's your take on the shoe place? Do you think it's dumping for move outs? Or?
Yeah, listen. On the way out there, we saw microwaves, and we saw dressers. We saw clothes still in dressers. There's trash bags full of college stuff. Dorm rooms getting cleaned out and stuff. Rentals getting cleaned out, just dumped out there. It's crazy the amount of stuff that's out there. But there was a couple oddities, and it's about a half a mile from the lake or from the pond. That I don't know what to make of it. and it needs to have some LEIs on it because there's some funky stuff happening, and it's kind of close to the lake. So who knows? Might be something. It's probably nothing.
Well,
But
thanks.
you found it with the drone. Like we were looking at it for hours, weren't we, on the maps?
Yeah,
And
we finally found it.
he threw the drone up then, and the next thing, 15 minutes later, I get a text or a message to say, "Bam!" or "Boom."
Yeah, boom.
Found it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that was dope. And the
drone
guy
was great.
that Levi, the guy that broke it, he owns the epoxy
Yes.
like a shop here in town, and he teaches kids and he teaches a lot of people how to do fun stuff with epoxy. So I mean, he's a good guy. He's donated to a cat shelter that I was rebuilding. He donated some epoxy for that. He's helped on a couple projects. So good guy. He's on vacation now though. So anyways, I'll hop off of here, let you guys go. I'm gonna get to stitching these photos together and hopefully have a map up soon enough. I'll post it on X or whatever, send you guys a link, and you guys can do what you want with it. So that way, anytime you see somebody talking about that, here, it's already been mapped and documented.
Awesome.
All right, man. Catch you.
Yeah.
I'll speak to you later. I just seen one here. Last cookie. Did anyone ever collect Suzanne's remains? The answer is no. They've the family didn't. Well, Barry and the daughters didn't want the remains. They want them to go into evidence, just in case they catch the. My fingers are above my head again. The killer. That they would have her remains as evidence. So no, that's where they're still there. The remains.
I also wouldn't be surprised if they, they being Barry, since he's the next of kin, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to get another autopsy or something too, to try to get it to say whatever he wants it to say.
Yeah.
There's several different things that could be going on with that. And also I'd like to add that I have been in touch with Chaffee County Coroner's Office and my contacts over there. And I didn't ask in the right way, so I don't know for sure whether Barry has seen the entire autopsy report or not. But what they told me was they usually just release the like what we've all seen, the 4-pager. And they did tell me when I tried to do a Cora request for the toxicology and stuff, that they told me that all of that is being held because of the ongoing homicide investigation, and that won't be public until there is a case being prosecuted.
Right. Which is the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah, which is the right thing to do. Because you can imagine yourself that there's the questions that we were asking, those type of questions that we've been asking ever since.
Yeah.
So you could imagine those answers, So yeah. So that's what do people think about Barry? Do you think he was manipulating his telematics, or do you think it might be just a coincidence?
One of so many coincidences. And
but the good thing is that law enforcement have all the old telematics, so that they can tell that his truck was like he'd been to drove to Indiana, and he'd been up down to Broomfield a good few times. So and he'd been to Denver and Colorado Springs, and so they could tell that every time he went up the 285 there was no problem, and all of a sudden on that particular day Why is and the reason people are asking why would he turn off his telematics for all the time? And I tell you why. Because that keeps everyone guessing. Because how many people I remember myself, I looked up roads off the 285 all the way basically to Morrison. Do you know what I mean? So I was checking all these little country lanes that just went up the mountains or whatever that just to see what was there, if there was lakes or whatever, you know what I mean, or would there be the type of place where a person would get away with something like that,
Yeah.
But if it keeps like, can you imagine the amount of resources that it would have taken from law enforcement to have to known that he may had her remains with him going off on that Monday morning, off to Denver, and there's mileage that doesn't add up, and there's time that doesn't add up. I bet they were spending a lot of time looking around those places,
Yeah. And I noticed somebody mentioned how Iris, it was either Iris or Barry's other attorney that works with Iris, but saying that there was caffeine in her remains. And I forgot to go research that, guys, but I'm wondering how there was caffeine in the bones. If that, I mean, if that is the case, well, so be it. But I'm wondering if actually she was just trying to do a spin to try to sell the story again, of Suzanne drinking a cup of coffee and then going for a bike ride and disappearing.
We're used to her BS at this stage. Do you mean?
Yeah.
Anyone that's read the lawsuit should be well used to her BS. She is full of it. You know what I mean? Yes,
especially the that everybody's got BAM and everybody's running around with BAM all over the mountainside, and that hunters have BAM. Because hunters do not use BAM, among other things. Can you imagine if a hunter used BAM to take down the animal, and then they tried to, it's illegal and all that, but then can you imagine trying to eat something that had BAM in it and put your whole family to sleep?
Yeah. I think my wife might put BAM in some of my dinner. Because I fall asleep on the laptop every now and then. I've seen a lot of people, hunters, mentioned or their wives saying that their husbands are hunters and whatever, and they say that they'd never dream of using BAM.
Yeah,
they've been hunting all their lives, like, you know what I mean. So this is just the propaganda machine.
Yeah, and the part about all the farmers have it, and no, not all the farmers have it either. A lot of the farmers don't use the BAM at all, and if it needs to be used, they call the vet to come out and use it, not to just just have BAM and I'm just gonna BAM my livestock now.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh gosh, it's laughable and it's not laughable, but isn't it funny? I always go back to that Morgan when he says Morgan says to him about, pigs could eat an entire human body in within 2 hours,
Yeah.
And Barry said I could bury a body and it would never be found.
Yeah.
And thanks be to God he was wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I say. You know what I mean? He's so full of it. He's so full of himself, But I reckoned when he said that he'd already buried her. And he said it to Morgan.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so as well, because that was the Saturday morning when he said that, and she said that he looked like he had just had the worst night of his life, and I think it's because he didn't get very
Well,
much sleep because
no,
of what he's
actually,
doing.
no. The worst day. It sounded like the worst day of his life was at 11:20 on May 10th, when he rang
Oh,
her. Yeah, he rang her 11:20 on May 10th, and I think at that time. Now it's hard to work out the time where he is now because of this 9 minutes. But I think
mhm.
he's at Men's Warehouse, or
Okay.
else he's either at Men's Warehouse or he's just arrived back at the hotel, one or the other. And I'd say probably most likely at the hotel, because Barry has a habit. I've noticed this. He makes his phone calls when he's sitting in his truck. It's like his comfort zone. He gets
Mhm.
into his truck and he sits down and then he starts making his calls. It's like his office. Do you know what I mean? So I see this on May 8th and I see this on May 9th, that Barry's in his truck when he's making all these calls. Do you know what I mean? Or um, which makes sense because you don't want to be, when you're busy on your Bobcat, making calls and whatever, or for digging away. I mean, I was the same myself. I always used to, when I'd have my tea break, I'd sit down when the kettle was boiling and then I'd make a few calls if I had to make them out. Not when I was driving around on machinery or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Um, sorry, but what was that question now? I lost myself. Where were we at there, Jules?
Oh, I got lost too because I was reading this comment that says the photo's cropped so it can say Bam instead of Pam.
Yes, yes,
And I
yes.
went,
I looked at that and I said to myself, yeah, they were cooking with Bam.
oh.
So that's palm oil, isn't it?
And I like how,
Right.
yeah, and I like how Jessica here says the caffeine really doesn't matter that much to me because she obviously had it in her system on any given day, not just the day that the
Yeah,
defense is trying to laughably imply. And
100%. Like that is as crazy as the prosecution trying to say that Barry was chasing her around with a dart gun around the house. Do you know what I mean? Like that's one thing I was going to say to court. There was about the uh, Kurt stayed up above the house, up in the mountain, in a tent, like a kind of a pull up tent on a trailer, and he was in a hammock. And this was 3 years ago or so, and he was looking at his phone, his GPS on his phone, and this exact same thing was happening. That's happening around the house with his GPS. So his GPS was about 100 yards around where he was, flicking on and off, and he shows it live, and he done a video of it, and so that shows what Hoyland was saying about the static drift from the bad signal from the GPS. So that's what was happening with all those we talked about last week. But the other one was My Kingdom one as well. So they can repeat them. Do you know what I mean? If law enforcement went back there next week and done the exact same thing, they would be able to repeat that. You know what I mean? With a phone in that, put a phone in that area, and then check the GPS on that phone. It would tell them the exact same story. So these things can be checked out, and I'm sure the prosecution or the defense would be doing the same thing. Do you know? So yeah.
I'm trying to find this picture of Suzanne with her coffee cup. I put it on the wrong thing for a second there. Let's see if we can put
I tell you that there was definitely caffeine in my remains when I got them out because
yeah.
I drink about 20 cups of tea a day, and my wife drinks about 20 cups of coffee a day. So
And I do both tea and coffee.
do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I stopped. I had to stop with the coffee because I realized I was putting on a bit of weight, and then I was giving out to my wife about who's using up all the sugar. And she was saying, "You're the only one in the house that uses sugar." So,
Oh, that's
so I
that's
said,
funny.
"All right, that's it. Stop the cup." I was using the bag like a kilo of sugar a week, like.
Wow. Yeah, I'm a hardcore caffeine person. I take my coffee black sometimes with a splash of cream, and my tea is also nothing in it. Sometimes a squeeze of lemon.
Yeah, well, I have milk in my tea, but that's it. But in my coffee, I used to have like 2 spoons of sugar in it, or sometimes three maybe. And God, when I think of it. So I see Kaza. Where's Kaza teas? Kaza tea there. Another tea drinker.
Miss Wee Lassie is after my heart. I'd have a I'd have a coffee via an IV drip if I could.
Yes.
Yeah. And Serendipity does the Diet Coke, and yeah, that has happy amounts of caffeine as well. So we're all caffeine lovers.
So that's the thing about Suzanne. She would have been, if she was drinking 3 to 4 cups a day,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter if it was that day or the day before or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all know she was drinking cups
Yep.
of coffee every day. You know. So you can't tie something like that in. Do you know what I mean? And it
Right.
was amazing the way they went for that. She was wearing all the biking gear and blah blah blah, because it would have went in with their what you call them,
Yeah.
their theory. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
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 now,
as you can see in this photo, also she's wearing that Crested Butte
yes,
shirt in this one where she's walking with a cup of coffee outside of the house, and that other one she was inside the house wearing that. And that's that's the description of this. I don't know if maybe she had more than one of them, but that's what was with her, and that's what they were saying is bike clothing. And I think they're stretching to try to keep that bicycle narrative, even though we all know that
yeah,
it's a crock.
yeah. Like that's why if my name there was no bike ride, that's when I joined up with Reddit, and I at that stage I knew there was no bike rides. You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
was about over 3 years ago. But there's something I actually have you followed the Karen Reid case?
Yes, I've been following it a bit, but trying not to follow the gossip about it because
Oh yeah, same here. Yeah, I'm not following. I'm just watching the court proceedings. But there's the defense lawyer. He mentioned to the daughter of what's his name? Oh God, the guy I can't think of his name now. But she's 20-year-old college student, and they were talking about her phone, and he says, "You do know," he says, "that you can go into your settings and change the time and the date of any photo and any text, and unless they have your phone, because she got rid of her phone."
Mm-hmm.
She changed the phone at Christmas time. Said it was like a Christmas present. She probably done an exchange her old phone for a new one or something like that. But he was kind of saying, you know yourself that you can go into your phone, into your settings, and you can change the time, basically the metadata on the photograph.
Yeah, which has some bearing in this one too, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
I think from what I've seen with the Alex Murdoch case and with this case now, the Reed case, and there was another case as well. Oh yeah, the Koberger case. I think there's a lot more that law enforcement could do with this case, with geofencing and different things,
Yes.
and the apps, and look into what Suzanne's her Apple Watch was doing, and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? See if
Yeah.
there's any other apps. You know what I mean? There was, you know, but and any other phones that was near what was going on with the phones in houses near or cleaners might be, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting about the cleaners, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So I think this will be, if when this does go to trial, I think a lot of people will be eyeing this for so many different reasons.
mhm.
Yeah. I just think I just the way this case has gone and all the turns and whatever twists and turns in this case. There's a lot to be learned um, from law enforcement going forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
And didn't show work for the Morphews for a year. Want to clarify, says B. Layton. And
I heard that as well, but I have never I was never given any proof that was the case.
yeah, same here. Is I've heard that, but I have not.
No, but what I did hear was that she worked at the house just after, and I'm talking about within just a few weeks after Suzanne disappeared. She worked at the house. So,
interesting.
yeah. And but so yeah, I've heard a few different accounts of different things with herself, and when like the thing for me is like Maysville is only like a population of 100 and something people, 120 something people or whatever, and she had the same friends that Barry had. A lot of them were firefighters, and they'd have a lot of these parties, meals down in what's the called it, the Mexican restaurant, Fiesta, whatever, the one down in Rainbow Boulevard. That's where all the firefighters used to go for their eats after whatever, celebrating or whatever they'd be doing. And she was mixing with the same people. So the chances of it's nearly impossible that they didn't meet. And the fact that they were attracted to each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they are together. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's just like, what are they expecting us to believe? Like, you know what I mean?
For sure. And I noticed people notice the sound of kitties in the background, and we tend to take in kittens and get them forever homes after they've had their doctor stuff all dealt with, and so yeah, it's a kitty. It's not really mine, but I get to enjoy and play with it for a little while.
Cass is saying here that she's a Lady Grey. I don't believe that for 1 minute. No, my sister drinks Lady Grey. She she is. I think she's related to the Queen. Is it supposed to be related to the Queen?
I don't remember what Lady Grey tea is like, because Earl Grey.
Earl Grey. Sorry, but you have a Lady Grey, isn't it? It's a spin-off of the Earl Grey, but I've seen this Lady Grey. Yeah.
Is it less potent or something? Is that why it's lady?
I think I was working on a very posh house in London one time, and the woman in the house asked me to order a cup of tea, and that's what she gave me, Earl Grey. And where are you? I'm used to like supermarket like tea bags, the cheapo builder's tea, and so there was me and my crew. It was about 5 or 6 of us, and everyone's looking at each other trying to drink this tea out of this China cup, it's so funny. We all had to go off on a break. Yeah. So it's what you're used to. You know what I mean? I drink the cheap tea and I love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have all kinds of different tea.
It's quite a weak brew. Yeah, I think it is a weak brew.
Yeah, Earl Grey is what I have in the evenings because I stopped drinking coffee sometime in the afternoon, and then I switched to tea, and then if my kids get after me and tell me to, Mom, you need to calm down, then I'll go ahead and have some herbal tea instead, which isn't no caffeine, but yeah.
I like Gene here showing me the geofencing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
where are we at now, Jules? Oh yeah, that was interesting about the phone stuff. So I think that there's lots more to come out in this case. The more people know, there's a lot more people eyes on looking at the case completely differently. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because every time we find out something new, it casts shadow or doubt on everything Iris has been saying.
Yeah.
So so we're getting, as I said to Kurt, it was about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I said, "Do you know what it's like?" I said, "We're at the point of an arrow point, and our focus is now quite small. Where at the beginning, it was like a shotgun. You know what I mean? It was just like spread out everywhere.
Yeah.
But once you start focusing on things, you make a lot more ground.
Yeah. And I also know that with this autopsy report that we've all seen, we know that it's a homicide, and that's pretty much all we can really say from it. And that there was BAM in her system. Those are the things that we can take away from that. We don't know for sure whether there were any foot bones or hand bones because of the way it's worded on the autopsy report. It says that the bones include, and then list a bunch of bones, but it doesn't say that those are the only bones. So we don't know until trial whether there's other bones.
They mentioned a lot of bones, but there was no mention of the pelvis. There was no mention of the hands. There was no mention of the feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to be realistic here as well. And from what they're kind of saying, if it's shallow grave, I'd say you're probably talking about 18 inches deep is all he's, and he's buried there at a very shallow grave.
And most likely coyotes got a hold of her remains.
Or even smaller,
or smaller too. Yeah. Like even little rats will carry stuff away too.
100%. Yeah. Like, you don't really want to be thinking about it, but we know what happens. You know what I mean? When AK was showing those videos around the back of the house, and we found an elk, the spine of an elk or something like that. Like the amount of bones that he found. Do you know what I mean? He had the night vision. Remember, he put those night vision goggles on.
Yeah.
And the whole ground just kind of lit up with all the bones because that's what it picked up on. You know what I mean? They were all they were like luminous. These bits of bones, and that's just from natural. Elk getting dying and whatever, and then being scavenged and their bones to be spread, and they're there for years. Do you know what I mean? Because up there, you've got wild animals going everywhere. So it'd be the same up where Suzanne remains were. That's just full of wild animals, and those bones would be there for a long, long time.
And so we can get going for today. And I put up Justice for Suzanne because that's what this is all about. And all the weird speculation that people are doing, and trying to basically make Barry's defense for him and stuff. It's not really
it's not
doing.
Watching.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and it's just I've decided it's not worth my time to keep trying to explain to these people, and just wait for court and stuff so that the evidence can be seen and heard there, instead of trying to explain that these wild thoughts that they're getting from the 4-page report. And oh my goodness. Like, for example, did you know that a lot of them were trying to say that the BAM ingredients that Suzanne was likely using them herself for cancer treatment, and that's why they were in her body?
I know.
And
I know, yeah.
and even Barry's lawyer didn't say that. Barry's attorneys are trying to explain away the BAM because it could have been anybody that put BAM in her system.
Like I watched Scott Wright a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember, and see, they didn't realize that these 3 ingredients were spam, basically. You know what I mean? Like, they even if you look at that the 4-page the autopsy report, it says the chemicals in that order. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that is BAM, basically, and that's what Barry said he had. And he had it, and he used it up. Was it April? He said, was it March or April? March or April, I think he said. As early as March or April.
Yeah. But he did tell them that he had it, and he said why he had it, and then he said that he tossed it out. And some people aren't understanding what the needle cap is that was in the dryer either. They're thinking that was from a dart or something, and it's not. What they're talking about is a syringe. Like when you get a shot or something, the syringe has a cap over the needle, and that is a needle cap or a needle sheath. And to load BAM into the darts, it doesn't come in the darts. To load it into the dart, you take a syringe into the bottle and you extract it. And that's what they found evidence of, is a needle used for extracting BAM, in the needle sheath. So there's a whole lot of coincidences, guys.
Yeah, we might actually do that next week, Jules, if you want. Because, as I said, that I'd say it's about 200 I have, So I'll go through and I'll smarten it up a bit now, because some of it may not apply so much now, but we can go through them, because they will blow your head up. There's so many of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's the plan, guys. We'll be back next Sunday, same time, and we'll be going over all these coincidences that, once you see all the coincidences, it's not just a coincidence. No. And anyway, thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for coming on here, Martin. And I'm going to sign out now. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Yeah. Bye now.